Ohio State was without its starting linebacker, leader, and block over recipient, Cody Simon, and it's 52-6 win over Akron this past weekend. And Ryan Day said he is day to day heading into Western Michigan week. I'm Stephen Means, that's Andrew Gillis, and that's Stefan Krajisnik. Andrew, without Cody Simon, we got a chance to see obviously Sonny Styles move over to Mike linebacker, CJ Hicks in a starting role, and then Arvell Reese and Gabe Powers and on down the list maybe worked in as well. How important is it for Ohio State to get Cody Simon back against Western Michigan, even if it's an opponent that they're favored by almost 35 points?
Not that important because, and I don't want to downplay Cody Simon, I think it's important to let some of these other guys get reps. I think we saw Arvell Reese flash. I know Gabe Powers, he had the pick six. Good for him. He was in the right spot at the right time. I don't know if he necessarily made like the greatest play in the world to make that pick six.
Edric Houston made that play happen.
Good for Gabe Powers, and I think that but it's important to get those guys reps. It's important to get Reese in the game. It's important to get Gabe Powers in the game. You want to see Sonny Styles play linebacker. You want to see CJ Hicks play linebacker. Those are two guys that haven't really played a lot at linebacker. Those are two guys who haven't really played a lot at all when you're talking about Powers and Reese. So you want to see those guys play. So to me, I think you could be in a situation where guys, that are veterans on this team, 4th, 5th year seniors, if you have a hangnail, it might be time to be like, you know what? Don't force it. Let's take this as it comes. Let's let some other guys play, right? And I think that's where we're at with Cody, because this is going to be a long season for Ohio State. At least that's the plan for them right now. So yes, it's important to get your veteran. You mentioned the block over recipient. You want to get him on the field, but I don't think you have to do it this week, especially because you have a bye week coming up. You play Western Michigan, you have a bye week, then you play Marshall, then you play Michigan State. You really just want to have him healthy going into that October stretch. So probably don't need him this week. You can probably have him back for the Marshall game. I mean, it's a buy one get one free. If you don't play this week, you get another week free too. So you can give him another week off. Just let him rest, just let him recuperate, and then start to ramp it up, because that October stretch might be fairly rigorous for Ohio State. You're going to play Iowa, you're going to play Oregon. I know you have a bye week in there, but then you got to play Nebraska, who might be pretty good. I don't know how good they're going to be, but they have a quarterback who looks pretty good. Then you got to play Penn State. Like, there's a lot coming down the line, so you don't have to force it right now.
Stefan, is that fair? Is it fair to be okay? Cody Simon's been running this defense for 3 years now. Is building depth behind him more important on Saturday than just having a full unit, given who the opponent is?
Yeah, I think so. I think when we see what guys like Arvell Reese are able to do when he comes in, and maybe not even just what Arvell Reese did on Saturday, but Ryan Day talked about kind of the way Arvell has changed his preparation, taking that next step, between Sunday and Friday to get better is important as well, right? Like, these guys are getting the reps in practice and in games that you kind of need to see what it takes to play, at the Ohio State level. So I think I agree with what Andrew said. If you got a chance with this schedule to kind of get some other guys reps, it's important. Not that, if Cody does play, it's not like these younger guys aren't going to get reps. Listen, Ohio State just won a game by almost 50 points. There's time for other players to get reps, but when you're getting some of those starter reps, it's important. And I think going into the season, I was looking at this early bye week as like, do you really need a bye week to, I know you get 2 of them this year, but you're wasting one in September. Not that they choose, not when to say wasting one, but it seemed kind of unfortunate that you get 2 games and you kind of have a bye pretty quickly. But when we see some of these guys that have come up, banged up out of camp, it seems like it is kind of a good time for it. You go through this week, kind of decide if you want the guys to go out there or not, but you don't have to force them, because then you get another week where they can kind of rest and recuperate, and you're in a really good spot when you go down a stretch that could be, 14, 15 more games to go this season. So the bye week actually kind of is going to come at a good time for Ohio State, especially with a guy like Cody Simon. So we'll see if he plays, and I'm sure it doesn't hurt for him to play, unless obviously there's a setback or something like that. But overall, I don't think you need to force it, because you're in a pretty good spot with how the schedule is set up.
So Ryan Day brought up something after the game. He got asked about it again on Tuesday that I thought was very important, and why I agree with you guys in that it's more important that you're getting reps for CJ Hicks, who especially didn't always look great as a linebacker, looked awesome as a blitzer, but not always great as a linebacker. Arvell Reese, as you're talking about his preparation, I think we saw that on Saturday. He flashed a bunch. Gabe Powers flashed a bunch. Sonny Styles looked very comfortable for a guy who was playing safety 9 months ago, right? But Ryan Day brought up metrics and the fact that it's a 12-team playoff and how the committee might evaluate things. So it's part of the reason why they're going balls to the wall, from the first snap to the last snap. That's why they're emphasizing a lot of that this year. And if you've got depth on both sides of the ball, that probably does help you in the evaluation right now. If they're 13-0, win the Big Ten, and they just run through the opponents, it might not matter. They might be the number 1 seed anyway. But when you're trying to decide who's the number 1 seed and who's the number 2 seed, and maybe them and Georgia are both undefeated, if Ohio State's the deeper team, the more complete team, as we've seen in the past, if those metrics are in Ohio State's favor, that's probably in their favor. If they have one loss and they don't win a conference championship, those metrics might be the difference between a 5 seed and a 6 seed. But also, just for the sake of having depth, I agree with you guys. I think Cody Simon's been running this defense for 3 years. He knows what he's doing, and I don't think anybody's going to walk out there if he doesn't play until the Michigan State game and think, oh no, is Cody Simon rusty? I don't think anybody's going to think that. But we are going to think, are C.J. Hicks, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Gabe Powers ready for Big Ten level play? So I agree with you guys. It's probably more important to get those guys snaps, regardless of whether Cody Simon plays on Saturday or not. Get to text 614-350-3315. We'll continue to have this conversation on Buckeye Talk, wherever you find podcasts. I'm Steven. He's Andrew. He's Stefan. See ya.